If you're an author, you probably want people to read your book, but you don't want to spend all of your time creating content because then you can't write your books. And so I've been an author coach for 7 years now, working with about 20 different authors at a time. And so it's been great to be able to see what's working, what's not working. And of course, I help and coach people on how to grow an audience while writing and usually running a literary business. So, indie writers are selling so many books right now. But the things we learned about social media and other marketing strategies, Amazon, and all of that, it's not the same as it was 10 years ago when I started. So, over the next 3 weeks, I'm going to talk about something I'm calling authentic audience growth for authors. And this is a topic I love. I recently took a step back from my own social media recently so that I could really look at what's working, look at what's working for me so I don't burn out and I'm actually successful at what I do. And so I broke it up into 3 parts, and over the next 3 weeks, I'm going to do some videos about it so that everybody has it in client meetings. I'll tell you, this has come up a lot. And so it's just so useful to have a resource where you can go back and really just think things through for yourself. And rather than running around, being on all the platforms, thinking, I should do this, I should be doing this, why am I not doing this? We're going to figure out and get clarity on what you want to do and what will work for you. So it's a 3 video series. This is the first one. We're also going to talk about choosing a platform. And then the final video is about building your momentum machine. So this is how you can fuel your growth so that you're not doing all the work and all of your, when you do create something or you do put something out there, everything's snowballing everything else. So that's the final video. It's the momentum machine. I really like that one. So let's get into the content that will give you clarity so you can stop feeling like you have to do all the things and focus on what will work for your genre, for your book, for your life. So the beginning of this getting clarity is, and this is why I call it authentic audience growth for authors, is that right now, the thing that is working is honesty. In the 2010s, there was a lot of hype. We have gone through various stages in the creative economy, and drilling down at this moment, people can see it if you don't mean it. And so it's important to be authentic more than it ever has been. We think about the times when everybody used to say, be vulnerable, be vulnerable. More than anything, they just want you for you. And that's the same reason people buy your books. So I've created a worksheet. Sign up below and I'll send it right to you. It goes through everything we're going to go through in this series. But the first thing to focus in on is your raw intention. When you're doing social media, what do you want? If you're doing any kind of marketing strategy, because this applies to everything, what do you want first and foremost? Do you want to be able to travel with your family and get out from behind a desk? Do you want to have a job as a full-time author? Is your raw intention to just sell more books? You have some books out there and you want to sell more of them. You want to get the word out. Do you want to build a platform so that you can get a publishing contract? So those are some examples of raw intentions. But in the worksheets, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to really put down your raw intention. One trend I am seeing is that when people don't remember what they really wanted, they'll get lost down all the rabbit holes. They'll think, I have to do TikTok, I have to do book talk, which I'll talk about. That's not necessarily the answer, and it may not work for you for specific reasons. So if you don't know what you want, you're not going to be able to get it. You're going to start thinking, I have to do this and this and this and this and this. But when you are focused on what you really want, strategy becomes a million times easier. So first question, what you want. Second question, What did you have to learn to get where you are? Sometimes I call this turning points. When you go back over your life, and I can think about this in the business I'm in right now, what did I have to learn? I'll tell you one thing a lot about social media. What did I have to learn to get this far? However far you are, maybe you have your first chapter written of your first book. What did you have to learn to do that? Anything. Maybe there was a time in my life where I was going through a fertility journey and I was trying to become a mom. What did I have to learn to get to where I am right now? That's the prompt because you can transfer any strategy that you've used to get this far to get you farther. A lot of the fundamentals are there, and it's so helpful before you go into strategy to remember what you know so far because it gives you confidence and it gives you wisdom. And so, believe me, those go so far in social media strategy. You already know so much more than you think you know. And when everybody is telling you, you have to do this, you have to do that, a lot of that is just hype and it's not going to work for you as well as what you know about yourself thus far. So, first question, raw intention. Second question, what did you have to learn to get where you are now? And then I like to create something called the story of how it happened. So, this is a fun exercise that's in the worksheet, but I want to talk you through it because here's how it goes. Basically, let's say that in 5 years, you want to have a 6 book series finished and out there, right? And you get really nervous because you don't know how to do that because you've never done it before. You just need to write on one little piece of paper. I keep on talking about the reflection worksheets, but that's because I made them and I love them. So download it and then just go, what did you have to do to get it rolling? What was the inciting incident of your story that got you on the road to accomplishing that? What are the biggest things you had to learn? What was the midpoint of the story of how it happened? What were the biggest challenges? How did you overcome them? If you can imagine yourself however long into the future, 3 years, 5 years, you're going to realize that you already know a lot of what's going to get you through it. But oh my goodness, does it help you to write that down, to talk about the lessons you're going to learn as far as you know thus far, the big things you need to figure out. So that's the third exercise in the reflection sheet. And then I created 15 content prompts. So we take up all our reflection stuff, our raw intention, our learnings from the past, our projection onto the future of everything we're going to learn and going to do. That's the beginning of your strategy. It works really well. You'll be surprised and you'll stop listening to all those people who keep trying to tell you exactly what to do because you know better than they do. And so then the final thing is just starting to brainstorm what you have to offer. And next week we'll talk about the schedule you do it on and all of those things. So I'll break it down into the practical stuff. But first and foremost, you need material to work with. So I have 15 prompts and I'm just going to give you a sample of what they're like. So what kinds of things does your audience care about? 5 things. What are 5 things the people who read your books care about? What are 5 reasons that people read your books? And so they're just prompts like this that will start to put you on common ground with your audience. So, and here's something interesting. I do teaching content because I love doing teaching content. I used to be a teacher, but you don't necessarily have to do teaching content. Let's say you do witchy romance. And so maybe your books take place on the East Coast. And so people care about peace. I'm just thinking of peaceful vistas and lighthouses, the ambiance of the East Coast. Let's say you do sci-fi or dystopian stuff. Maybe your people are interested in politics and they care about the world. So, based on these prompts, you don't necessarily have to create teaching content. Sometimes that's fun and people like it, but it's going to be personalized to your brand and your books. And then in the next video, we're going to break this down further, and I'm going to talk about how, based on the material you have, you can choose a platform, and then you can apply strategies that on any old platform in the whole world, I mean, including, let's say you want to go to your church group. These strategies will work on the ground, social media, whatever kind of stuff you want to do. That's what we're going to talk about next week. Platforms and how to make them work for you rather than working for them. So much love. I'm really excited to be back on YouTube. I'm really excited to be doing this stuff again. Download the worksheets and we are going to come up with your audience growth strategy and you're going to love it. So yes, sign up below. I have all the materials there and you'll also get the rest of the videos delivered to you. So much love. Talk soon.